Welcome forward to day 19 of our reflections on St. Joseph, and today's theme, again coming from the Litany to St. Joseph, is Joseph most courageous, which again means he was the most courageous man that walked this earth except for Jesus. And again, the wonder there is that Jesus would have learnt courage from Joseph and the way Joseph lived his life and imitated Joseph. In fact, we've now talked about a lot of those, all of the cardinal virtues, and I want to briefly return back to that diagram where it certainly helps me visualize and understand the virtues, and it's something that we don't do enough of, which is explicitly talk about the virtues and how you can develop them in your life. So if we just think about that, how do we develop courage? Now, we do ask God, we pray for these virtues, and we receive, I suppose, we increase in these virtues by grace, so they're given to us. But we also, God puts us in situations where these virtues can develop, and that doesn't mean that therefore life is easy and overnight we become incredibly courageous, for example, or incredibly prudent. It's something that we have to work on and be attentive to what's going on in our lives. So it's quite dynamic, and that's where I really want to focus on today, because we talked about the continuum, and that you've got two extremes, and the virtue is the medium between those two extremes. And I showed you a straight line, sort of like a continuum, but really you might get the impression that it's static and that the virtue is bang in the middle. Well, it's not. It's not meant to be seen like that. But so the line, that continuum, is not static, and that actually we might move to one side of the continuum and move back to the other one. And ideally, we do want to be fluctuating around the middle, if you like. And again, at one end, you've got an excess. It's considered an excess, and at the other end of the continuum, it's a deficiency. And we've given some examples in previous reflections on that, so again, it's for you to look at. So just again, now I also talked about the shape, if you like, which I use below the continuum line, which one could say it's a lazy 8. It's not. It's the symbol for infinity, but that's another reflection. But what I've added to that diagram is some arrows to show you that actually we can move to the left, but then as we're moving to the left of one of the excesses or one of the extremes, we can actually think, hold on a minute, is this the right thing to do? And then you can stop, and then you can circle back and go towards the middle again, the golden mean. And likewise, you might be going towards the other extreme, and again, being Christians, our conscience will make us think, actually, is this the right thing to do? And then you might stop and I need to go back, I need to do the right thing. And therefore, it looks like you are again fluctuating between those extremes. So I just want you to look at it, and again, you can pause the video or think about it later on and work with some examples yourself. So just briefly, so at the top you've got that line, the continuum, and the idea is that it shows movement. You can be moving between one extreme and the other one. But the diagram with the arrows just shows that yes, you can go all the way to the extremes, but you can come back to the middle, and you can take short. I suppose it can take you longer to come back to the middle, or longer, depending on how your conscience goes or how you realise that you're straying on the wrong path. So again, down the middle you've got the virtues, the cardinal virtues and love, and there was just the example of courage and the two extremes there, because that's the theme for today. So I want to sort of really leave it there, and I want you to think about what are those extremes for all those cardinal virtues, and how can I practice increasing the virtues in my life. Now clearly I should be praying to increase those virtues, but if we're going to, if we really want, for example, to increase in courage, we are going to be given the opportunities to increase our courage, which unfortunately might mean entering into spiritual warfare or situations that require us to be very courageous. So again, lots to really think about. Give it some thought, ponder, pray, and then act. God bless. Until tomorrow.